Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bianca and I am a recent teacher graduate, and I'm just out here making videos for first year teachers or teacher-to-bees and making lifestyle vlogs and all that kind of stuff. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and thanks for being here. So today's video is going to be a two-parter video, and that's because I have a lot to say. Today's video is going to be about my teacher university experience. So I am actually repping my university today. I'm wearing a sweater, the King's University, and then it has education at the very bottom. So yeah, I'm repping my university today because we are going to talk about my experience with university and the education program, and just kind of give you some things to consider before going into an education program, or if you're thinking about becoming a teacher and want to know kind of like what are some things I should think about, then welcome to this video. If this video is not what you're exactly looking for, thanks for clicking on anyway. Just give this a thumbs up or maybe even subscribe, and I promise you there are lots more fun content coming soon. With that being said, welcome to part one of my teacher university experience. So to start off this video, I'm going to talk about my university experience. So my experience was a wonderful one. I received 2 degrees at the end of my whole education career. My first one was a Bachelor of Arts with a major in psychology, and my second degree was a Bachelor of Education in elementary education. And the reason why I have 2 degrees is because King's University actually offers an after degree program. And an after degree program means that you cannot actually enter this education program until you have had a undergraduate degree or a degree beforehand. But my experience was amazing. I love this school. I am an Eagle forever. I feel like this is a sponsorship. This is a no sponsorship video. Yeah, so I recently graduated in May. I have a total of 5 years, just 5 years in 2 programs, which is amazing and has so many benefits to it. My psychology program was a total of 3 years, and my education program was a total of 2 years. So I'll focus on the education program because this is a teaching channel. So in my education program, it was awesome because in my first year we learned a lot about how to lesson plan, which is super important. Obviously, we learned how to curriculum plan and a lot of other fun stuff. And then in the winter semester of my first year, we had modules. So we had courses where we were able to learn about a specific subject for an entire week. It was very long and very intense, but at the end of that we came out with a whole bunch of resources. So that's a little bit about my experience, but some of the things I would like to talk about in this video, other than my experience, are some of the things that you should consider if you're thinking about going into university to become a teacher, or if you're joining an after degree program of teaching, or just what should I expect, or what should I kind of consider as I'm going to become a teacher. With that being said, with my background, that kind of leads us into my very first topic, which is consider your education programs or your programs in general. So my university actually has an after degree in education. So an after degree means that it's a program that you cannot take unless you have a bachelor's or an undergraduate degree beforehand. So basically, funny story, I didn't know that coming out of high school. I just knew I was, again, super passionate about wanting to become a teacher. So I was doing my research about different kinds of universities in the area that I live in. And I came across the King's University, and I was like, oh, this is pretty close to my home. I wonder if I can be a teacher right away. And, you know, the thought process was good and everything, but then I was filling out my application. I was like, yeah, I'm so ready to go to this school, and come to realize that you can't actually go into the education program until you've had an undergraduate degree. So all that to say is that my first point is you have to consider the benefits of an after degree program. The benefits are you obviously get 2 degrees at the end of your education, and only for a certain amount of time. Like I only went to school for 5 years, so my BA was 3 years and my after degree program in education is only 2 years. So 5 years in total to become a certified teacher is awesome, and you walk out with 2 degrees, so that looks really good on a resume, and you also are higher up on the teaching pay scale. Consider an after degree program versus going straight into a teaching program, because you never know what the benefits are. Ask questions, choose which path is better for you. If there is a program that you can go into and you can become a straight teacher in only however many years, that's awesome. But for me, this happened to work out for me. Another thing to consider are if there is some courses that you can get done in your undergraduate degree that you can tick off from the education program. So this works really well if you are going to the King's University, but also inquire at the university that you're at. Maybe there are some courses that you can take that can kind of check off all of the education requirements that you need. So this obviously varies amongst different kinds of schools and universities and whether you're taking an after degree program or not. But sometimes there are all these other courses that you can take while you're in a class or while you're in a degree program. So for example, if you're doing the after degree route, you can actually inquire if there are any courses that you can get done in your undergraduate degree so that you don't have to do them in your education program. So that also frees up space. They're called electives from where my university is. So you can then take more electives that you want, that maybe are courses that you're interested in. I hope that makes sense, or if I'm explaining this right. Basically what I'm just trying to say is inquire about the courses that you have and requirements that you have. Is there a way that you can get all your requirements done a little faster? Are there any requirements that you don't exactly have to do, or that it's secretly or hiddenly not even required for you to take to become a teacher? So think of those questions and consider those kinds of questions as you move into the education program. My kind of last biggest point in this whole things to consider is as you're heading into university, or if you're heading into the education program, just think of all the things that you can do in university, because all of those things can help you become successful in your actual career becoming a teacher. For example, back to my teacher university experience, I got a job in the admissions office, and that really helped me because I was a super shy kid, everybody. Getting this job was really helpful for me because I learned how to talk to other people, I learned how to do a bunch of database stuff, and just a lot of things that I think would be helpful in my career, because obviously teaching is a very talkative career. You have to talk to parents, you have to talk to students, you have to talk to other people who are inquiring about like things. And I got to have reference letters from my boss and my supervisors and all that stuff, so that's also really helpful. I was also part of something called the ambassador program, which is kind of like student council, or it's a volunteer program. So basically anytime you can volunteer in your university, do it. If there is any time in your university career that you can volunteer with kids, do it, because if you are wanting to be a teacher, this is a really good way to get your foot kind of wet, to see if you really like children, to see if you can work with them, to see if your patience is really good. So my advice is to consider doing all the things that would help you become successful as a teacher in your university career. I know university, it takes a lot of time. You're taking a whole bunch of courses. It's super busy, but I am living, breathing proof that you are able to do it if you put your mind to it. And also time management is key, so you also have to do that too. But just so you know that you can do both, you don't actually have to join a whole entire club. If you just want to volunteer, ask about it, inquire about it, because you can do some good for you as well as for others. So to recap what we have said for things to consider for part 1 of this teacher experience video: 1. Consider the benefits of an after degree program. Number 2, ask about the courses that maybe you don't even have to take in order to get into the education or program, or to have that requirement fulfilled. Number 3, think about all the things that you can do in university. So maybe do your research about what kinds of things that they provide, that your university provides in terms of volunteer programs or jobs. So my friends, that is the end of part 1 of my teacher university experience. Part 2 is going to be kind of a little bit about how to do some summer prep before going into an education program or before going into university for teaching. Also going to include some prep tips and maybe some things that you haven't thought of but maybe you should consider. I hope you learned something, maybe you gained a little bit of insight, or maybe what I've said has kind of jogged a little bit of something in your head that I haven't mentioned. If you have some more tips yourself, please feel free to fill them in the comments below. Also remember, I am not an expert. I'm just kind of saying a bunch of things that I've gathered throughout my 5 years of experience of school, and I hope you will stick around for part 2, which will come out very, very, very soon. I also have a teacher Instagram. Follow me, let's be friends. And I also recently made a teacher TikTok. I am trying my best to film TikToks and kind of make things look exciting just so I can provide some more content for you guys. So anyways, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for clicking this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. If you haven't already, I've already filmed my very first video, which is a teacher tag. So if you haven't seen that, I'm going to link that somewhere on the screen or at the end of this video so you can go ahead and watch that. And thanks for being here. It means a lot to me. See you in the next video. Bye. She's filming again. Represent.